I was doing a support worker shift when the email came that I have just been accepted for a PhD fully funded in the United Kingdom. For a couple of minutes, I was startled. I was very surprised. I didn't know what to think. The 21 months of rejection have just been wiped off, just like that. And I was thinking, could it be me? As I checked a couple of times. Was it a mistake? Because the message came under an email thread that I've had with the supervisor. So I was surprised. I was startled. I was shocked. I had a lot of feelings. And good for me, my employer was there that day. So I had to share with her because she had always been supportive of my academic journey. So I shared with her. She was very happy because some months prior to that time, I just lost a job that I waited for months for in a very big institution. So I just lost that job. They told me eventually there were more qualified people. I'd waited so long for that, and I just got in some sort of bad news, and she knew about it, and she was always there to give me reference letters and a lot of things. So it was just right to share with her. She was so excited. So she was the first person I told, and I took permission to call my wife to tell her as well. So I went to one of the rooms. I spoke to my wife, told her about it. She was shocked. She was happy. We're just saying, thank God. I could not wait to go back home. It was just amazing because earlier before then, there was so much pressure on me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was next in my journey in the United Kingdom. But the second after, I became a man with a lot of clarity, with a lot of purpose, with a lot of direction. This feeling was very amazing. Now, I need you to understand my story. 25th of November 2022, I was escorted to the Muritala Muhammad Airport in Lagos State by my family, by friends, my girlfriend at the time, who is currently my wife, my sister, and my brother. Everybody just, saw me off. It was really amazing. I was coming to the United Kingdom for a self-funded master's in bioinformatics at Teesside University. I just paid 4,000 out of a 17,000 pound school fees. My course was for 2 years, so 8,500 for each year. So flying down, I was just thinking about a lot of things. How will I do it? How will I navigate this? But I went with assurance, not to sound too confident. I went with assurance because, I believe in God and I know He would not leave me alone. I didn't have any external support. There was no money coming from anywhere. I knew I was going to go there, get a job, start working, start schooling, start paying. So I set a goal for myself to at least be able to get a job, because I went in November. So I was thinking I was going to be able to get a job in December before I start my course in January. So I went there and those were the things on my mind. I needed to get a job, any job at all. So the first job I got after applying to many jobs in the United Kingdom was a cleaning job. I was cleaning Airbnbs and I was very grateful for the job because at least it was paying some of my bills. And to be honest, I have to give credit to the people who housed me when I came. They are a very amazing couple. They housed me for like 6 months. They were feeding me as well, even giving me advice and tips. And I would say that it was based off of those interactions that I had with that family that I had the ability to think very wide. Because even though I was doing the cleaning job and the care job, I did not let it define me because of the possibility I saw in that family. So I want to take this moment to say thank you very much. I made nothing less than 50 PhD applications. I got 47 rejections over the course of 21 months. And it wasn't like I was counting them, to be honest, because somebody asked this question recently, that was I counting the number of applications I did? No, I wasn't counting. After I got a fully funded PhD, one of those days I just said, let me count how many applications I've made. I used the keyword, unfortunately, in my email to count the number of applications I made before getting a fully funded scholarship. And to be honest, I had counted up to 47. I had to stop counting and just left it at 47 plus. And I know many of you are in that position. You are getting a lot of rejections. Take it from someone who got 47 rejections. A rejection email will typically look like, hi Samuel, thank you for applying for so and so. This is to inform you that your application has not been successful. Please don't take this too personally. It's not a reflection of your deeds. They will not start patronizing you and encouraging you. That's how it looks like. I know that because I got a lot of them myself. To be very honest, it wasn't very easy because I was doing care jobs and support work whilst going to school, whilst making PhD application. I started making my PhD application the first year of my master's degree. I'm going to talk more about why I started making it that early in another video. But in this video, the idea is to give you an holistic picture of how I got the PhD. I asked a lot of people when I came to the United Kingdom, is it possible to get a PhD scholarship in the United Kingdom? Now, I had always wanted to do a PhD and I did not want to pay for it because I know it would be a lot of burden over the course of 3 to 4 years. I've had friends who had studied masters, fully funded, so I felt like if I'm going to struggle to pay for my masters, I better get a PhD that is fully funded. So I started asking, was it possible to get a PhD fully funded in the United Kingdom? Most people told me, no, it's not possible. They don't give people like us. When they mean people like us, they mean Africans and immigrants generally. Because I met them in the country, there was no point trying to disprove what they said, because generally I would assume that what they said was true. But that did not deter me from trying. One of the things I want you to pick from this is that don't let people's perception deter you from trying at least. That's very important. So I just kept tossing. It was just like an experiment. I started trying my best and just putting in applications. So I started applying for my PhD August 2023. Now I applied to UK. Most of my applications was to the UK. I applied to the USA. I applied to New Zealand. I made like, let's say 5% of them was to USA and New Zealand. Most of the application was to the UK. And understand that I was doing this whilst I was working my care work, I was working my support work, I was, going to school, and I had a demand to pass. So the weight was a very heavy one that I had to bear. But I kept the vision in my mind. I just felt I could try. And that was what kept me going. Now let me talk about my first few applications. Now you have to understand that I did not really know much about applications. Most of what I knew were from YouTube, just researching and just searching out things on Google. So I didn't know very much. So I was putting in applications very wrongly. This was what I was doing. I would write a statement of purpose that fits a particular research and send it to supervisors undertaking different researches. So I would use one statement of purpose to apply for like 5 to 10 PhD projects. In the statement of purpose, what I would just do, I would just edit out the name of the university, edit out the name of the supervisor, maybe edit out the name of the project, but I will keep everything constant. And that, thinking back now, was one of the reasons why I applied for so many opportunities. Another thing I did not pay attention to was my alignment with the supervisor. One of the things that will bring you up to speed in this application journey is that you must align with the supervisor's interest. There is no way in the world that you are going to get a feedback or a scholarship if you do not align with the interest of that research lab, that supervisor of that institution. Another thing I did not pay attention to was that I thought my qualification was enough. Although I did not have a first class in my bachelor's degree, I thought presenting myself as somebody who had a bachelor's degree in so and so and doing a master's in so and so would definitely present me as a credible candidate. That is a very wrong way of approaching it. It's not just about your qualification. It's about your alignment. And alignment, I mean, it's about your skill set. If your skills cannot solve the questions that you're trying to answer in that lab, you will not be selected. It's not just about having a first class or having a distinction. It's more about fit. It's more about alignment. So I thought it was about qualification. So I thought I met the qualification threshold. I could apply. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get anything. And to be honest, I really did not think that scholarship application was going to be very, 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 very competitive. Now I underestimated it. I knew it was going to be competitive, but I just underestimated it. I underestimated the fact that a lot of people were applying outside my country. A lot of people were applying that were more competitive, who are natives of this country. There were a lot of people that were applying all over the world. There was a particular application I made for 8 PhD positions. They got 1,082 applications. I mean, that was much later in my application journey. That just revealed to me that this thing is very competitive. And if somebody will be giving me a scholarship, it meant that I could contribute significantly. So I really did not understand how PhD was competitive. Another thing I did not understand was that PhD had cycles. PhD application had cycles. So for the UK, for example, the cycle is from September thereabout to about January, February. If I did not position my application in that phase or in that window, I would have to wait an extra year. So I just started understanding those things because I sent some applications that did not even get a feedback because I sent them at the wrong time. Another thing was that I just did not understand what supervisors wanted. I just did not get it. I realized that my approach needed to change when I got my first interview invitation, August 2024. That was when I knew that I needed to double down on what I did to get that interview. Although I was not selected for that particular PhD opportunity, I learned a lot of things. I learned that it was not about my dressing. I learned that it was not about my accent. I learned that it was not about anything. It was much more about what I had in my head. I mean, speaking about passing interviews, which I can talk about much later. But I realized that when I changed my approach, I got an interview. And the approach, generally speaking, was that I had to revamp the way I applied. I used my bachelor's degree as the foundation to build my PhD on, and then my master's degree as an advantage. That's something that you should take note of. Don't just attempt to build a PhD on a master's degree. Your master's degree is not your foundation. Your foundation is your bachelor's, and your bachelor's is the strongest thing that you can build your PhD on. I can talk about that much later. If you want me to talk about that, I can give you more insights about that. But that was when I realized that I needed to change my approach to getting scholarships if I was going to get any at all. At that point, I must have applied for like 30 something. Let me give you a breakdown of what actually works. Number one, if you are going to get a fully funded PhD, you will need to focus on your fit for that project. You need to identify supervisors in that field that align with your research work. For example, you cannot apply for a fully bioinformatics project if what you have is a background in plant biology and a master's in bioinformatics. It won't work that way. So think about it like this. You need to be able to speak the language of the supervisor for them to be able to see that you are in their tribe. Their tribe meaning their research interest. So supervisor's alignment is usually underrated, but it's a very big thing. How do you know you fit a particular supervisor? Read about them, read about the program, reach out to them before applying. These are just generally good practices. Now, your statement of purpose or research proposal is a very, very important document. Statement of purpose is very important in that it's a document that tells your academic story. It's the first thing that they will see before they have an opportunity to see you. Your statement of purpose must be detailed. Your statement of purpose must be targeted. Your statement of purpose must be aligned. These are many more are the things that I'll be talking about on this channel. Let me know which of these resonates with you, where you are on your current academic journey, and what videos you want me to record to help you on this particular journey of securing a fully funded scholarship anywhere in the world. There will be links in the description. Explore those resources and definitely reach out for support. There's a literature review masterclass that is coming up in January. If you want to register for that, you can reach out for that as well. I know most of you don't know, we are a growing community on TikTok right now. We also release helpful content on TikTok. This is your cue to take the first step. Most people think about the whole journey before they even start. This is your encouragement. Take the first step, just like I did. I didn't even know much about it, but I took the first step. And right now, I'm on the other side, encouraging you, calling you to come up either, because there are opportunities here and they are for you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.